Welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Today I'm going to tell you what you must know about the differences between the legendary Gibson Les Paul and SG. I'll give you a comparison of the construction, the sound, and at the end I'll give you a score for each, so stay tuned till the end. At the top, if you're in the market to buy any new gear, click to buy using our purchase link in the description. When you do that, it supports our channel directly, so thank you. Also, I have a Gibson Custom Shop Les Paul that we will be giving away very soon when we hit 50,000 subscribers. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and sign up using the Gleam link also in our description. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons to buy the Les Paul over the SG, and then 5 reasons to buy the SG over the Les Paul. So let's kick those top reasons off right now. Number 1, it all comes down to comfort and weight. Because of the lack of a maple top, and it's just a thinner slab mahogany body with a mahogany neck, you're going to drastically notice a difference in overall weight. Typically, a great SG can be 6.5 pounds compared to 8.5, 9 pounds on a Les Paul. A Les Paul can even push 11 pounds depending on the one that you're buying. And they can weight relieve a Les Paul to try to get it lower, maybe to 7.5, 8 pounds, but you're not going to touch the weight of an SG. Number 2 reason to choose the SG is that access to the upper fret register. Again, by design. Not only is the guitar lighter, but it's easier to play because it's got those Florentine horns, or devil horns as a lot of people call them, giving you access all the way up to the upper register of the guitar. Let's talk SG sounds. I believe the SG is brighter, however, it's more balanced. Actually give higher marks to the balanced singing voice that an SG produces. In fact, if you measure the distance between the humbuckers, you actually find that it's tighter spacing on the humbuckers on an SG, giving you that much more of a brighter sound. But something about the resonant lightweight body and the combination of all of the components comes together to produce a singing voice that projects, cuts through a band, and is very well balanced. Let's talk Vibrola. Number 4, you might want that wiggly Vibrola. And you do have the option to put a Bigsby traditionally on a Les Paul. But you're going to have a few more options, and they look pretty sweet too on an SG in a sideways Vibrola or a top-mounted Vibrola configuration. And number 5, a lot of signature players, Angus Young, Tony Iommi, these are incredibly impactful guitar players, and they might be reason enough to go out and buy an SG. Plus, if you already have a Les Paul, I can tell you right now, go and buy an SG. You definitely want one of both. All right, let's move on to the top 5 reasons to buy the Les Paul. There's more neck options. Basically, because there was a longer history with the Les Paul, you started out with a fatter 50s profile neck, you went through a transitional time, and then by 1960, it was slimmed down to what we would call the slim taper or 60s profile neck. More body options. Because a Les Paul has a mahogany body and a maple cap, that's going to allow for some configurations that you just can't choose on the purely mahogany slab body of an SG. Things like chambering for a distinct sound if you want a completely chambered Les Paul, which you do see from time to time, like the Les Paul Supreme, and even the ES Les Paul, which is completely semi-hollow, like a 335 or other Gibson ES style guitar with the F-hole cutaways as well. Not to mention the fact that a maple cap will give you the opportunity to capture one of those incredibly flamed maple tops that look absolutely gorgeous. You just won't find that on the SG, which is purely that mahogany slab body. Number 3 reason is cosmetic. I mentioned the flame maple top, and that is a big draw of the iconic Les Paul, but also because of the wood and tone wood configurations, you have more options like binding, which is a nice touch and looks really sharp on the guitar. You have typically more combinations of finishes, some solid tops, some flame tops. Number 4, of course, we have to talk about the sound. Now, I would say Les Paul probably has overall grit that's lacking in the SG. But with the Les Paul, it's pretty hard to deny that the full-bodied grit with a lot of low end and biting highs is really a combination that has been favored by so many famous guitar players and players over the years. works. One more reason I say only in fun is that you won't have to hear the name Angus Young over and over, because there's almost such an over association with that beautiful classic Cherry SG that when you're slinging that Cherry SG, you're gonna hear Angus Young's name come up quite a bit. And hey, that's all right. He's one of my favorite rock guitar players of all time. You can check out our full buyer's guides from Gibson or Epiphone to check out all the options that are available to you today. Let's talk about weaknesses of the Les Paul and SG specifically. First of all, what you need to know in terms of weaknesses on the Les Paul. Number one is going to be weight. If it matters to you, the Les Paul is certainly a heavier guitar. Number two, you're giving up upper fret access. It was felt that the Les Paul was becoming less relevant towards the end of the 50s, again competing with Fender. They wanted to make it more sleek, easier to play, with better access to the upper register. That's where the SG will excel. I will say straight out that the Les Paul is just generally a lot more expensive. So you will save some money going the Gibson route and looking at pretty much any SG, and that value difference will stand pretty much on any SG versus Les Paul comparison that you want to make. SG weaknesses. Number one, limited neck options. You pretty much are going to be committing to a 60s slim neck. That's just how the SG came to be, and it's pretty much the only option with the exception of, and definitely something to circle here, the Tony Iommi SG that'll give you a thick neck. A lot of people feel that the shape of an SG causes the headstock to want to pull down. I'll tell you that I don't experience that nearly as often as people say that you need to watch out for, but it is cited as a weakness of the SG. The Vibrolas are not well known for their tuning stability. The Strat trim is going to be definitely more stable than a Vibrola, and a Bigsby that you could put on a Les Paul is even going to be more stable in my opinion than either Vibrola option that you'll find on the SG. In that regard, if you want my best recommendation for the SG to buy now, buy the SG Standard 61 with just the stop bar, and that eliminates the worry about tuning stability. All right, and just for kicks, I did give a grade to both the Les Paul and the SG. I considered them overall, not with regard to a specific guitar. Again, three categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. And I was actually surprised in what I learned. The Les Paul earned a grade of 106 out of 125. That's an 84.8. That's a B, solid B. SG, 108 out of 125, or 86.4%, just actually eking out. This actually surprises me even, because I would have assumed I liked the Les Paul more, but I'm telling you, watch my demos, and I've really had the SG come up. You've got to own one of both. Make sure you go pick one up. So that's my rundown. Do you want the lightweight, sleek, easy to play modern SG, or do you want the staid, tried and true Les Paul? Do you like that weight slung around your neck while you play? You let us know in the comments. Let us know which ones you own, and let us know which ones you're going to buy next. Will you go Gibson or Epiphone? And I can't wait to hear from all of you. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.